Welcome to the Cooper River Challenge here at the Mount Pleasant Pier at the Charleston County Park. Today is October 6th. Our fishing tournament started at 6 a.m. this morning. We have 5 categories: adult, senior, youth, ladies, and 5 fish total. We've got a couple people on the board already with some fish that have been caught. Our fishing tournament will go to 4 o'clock today, and we'll announce those winners. So good luck to everybody in their tournament.
Here on the pier, the fishing can be a lot different than what you expect from a boat. Some of it's the same, but a lot of the regulars have figured out the little tricks that work here that might not work in other places. The reds will vary with the tide. Like most fishing anywhere, when the water's up on the grass, that's where the fish are going to be. You can start about halfway down the pier and cast live shrimp or mud minnows under a cork, and occasionally you'll catch a red or maybe a trout hanging out around the grass. If you're just fishing and want to go big because you can't weigh these fish in the tournament if they're over the slot limit, take a piece of cut mullet and cast it out on the bottom. Now there's a trick to this because the pilings that made up the old bridge and the rock base that make up the new bridge are all over the bottom here. The bad thing is now there's a good bit of fishing line down there too, but the bigger redfish and some really big black drum love to lay around that structure. The secret for me is to cast the bait out and let it lay on the bottom, but don't just leave it there. Give it about 5 minutes and then reel it back in slow until you feel your weight bump into something on the bottom. Then leave it there. If you can feel rocks or an old piling, then you know you're fishing and your bait's laying right there where that fish is going to lay up. You get hung up a lot doing that, but that's just part of fishing here at the pier, and I carry a lot of re-rigging tackle because of it. But that's how you catch the big reds. Now, the sheepshead is a whole other deal. To be honest, I learned this watching the guy who won the tournament today. His name is Sung No, and he's pretty much got the sheepshead figured out. A lot of people use fiddler crabs because they're easy to get. You can buy them at any of the local bait shops. But clams are the ticket to catching the big ones. The trash fish like the puffers and the pinfish won't eat the clams because they got some shell on them. You might have to crack open the shell a little bit to get a hook wedged in there or break off a tiny piece of the corner, and you can use pliers to do that. But the sheepshead or black drum is about all that's going to eat the clams. Now the trick to catching the fish is to fish the clams on a drop shot rig with the weight about 1 ounce or so on the bottom and the hook above it. Now these columns on this pier have little ridges or ledges on them. You got to lean way over, but you want to let that rig slide down the edge of the pier column and let the weight's going to lay on the little ridge. Make sure you're down on the down current side of the column, or the tide will wash your bait off the ledge. Then you just put a little sack in the line so that the clam hangs over the edge of the lip, and that's where the sheepshead hang out, and they'll start chewing on that clam, and you may not feel him chewing, but he'll pull the weight off the ledge, and you'll both see and feel that in your line. And when you do that, it's time to set the hook.
A little slow to begin with, but we picked it up in the end there. So we're going to start with our youth category. Youth category caught a half-pound croaker at 10 o'clock this morning. His name is Camden Hartley. He's not here, but he received a gift certificate to Hadrill's for $75. Good job, Cameron. Our next one is our senior category, and our senior category winner caught a 1 pound, 7.5 inch, or 7.5 ounce red drum at 3:16 p.m. Nice job, and that goes to Mike Pack. Very good. Our next category is our ladies category. Okay, we had a very impressive fish caught for this category. 5 pound, 1 ounce flounder caught at 2:17 p.m. and that goes to Deanne Mullen, $75 gift. All right. Great catch, beautiful fish. Our next category is our 5 fish total, and that was going back and forth all day. Quite a few people had their name up there, but it finally came down to a 2 pound, 4.5 ounce sheepshead caught at 11:50 a.m. and a 2 pound, 15 ounce flounder caught at 3:01 with a total of 5 pounds, 3.5 ounces to Jackson Pier. Congratulations. Good job. And then our last category is the adult category. caught at 12:29 p.m. by Hung No. Congratulations. Good job. Thank you. You guys did a great job. Thank you very much.